Hello everybody, welcome to this very special video. Since it's been Metal Month over at TuneTrack, I figured this would be the perfect time for me to tell you how to use EZdrummer with your drum triggers. So I'm constantly being asked things like, how do you get your drums to sound so good? What kind of drum samples are you using? Where can I get your drum samples? Well, guess what? All of my drum samples come directly from the TuneTrack EZdrummer packs. And the best thing about these EZdrummer samples is they are pre-mixed and need minimal tweaking. Alright, so let's get started. Here's what you will need. A computer, TuneTrack EZdrummer, recording software, also known as an audio interface with MIDI in and out, a MIDI cable, a drum set with triggers or an electronic drum set, and a drum module. If you have an electronic drum set, it will usually come with its own drum module, but if you're just buying drum triggers, you will probably have to buy a drum module separately. So once your triggers are plugged into the drum module, the first thing you want to do is plug in your MIDI cable. Plug one end into the MIDI output of the drum module, and the other end into the MIDI input of your audio interface. Next, open your recording software, or and make sure that your audio interface is selected as the MIDI input. Now you can open EZdrummer. To be sure that each trigger will set off the correct sound, click on each drum and open the details. Here it will show you the proper corresponding MIDI note that will trigger that drum sound. So for instance, for the snare, the MIDI note is D1, and for the kick, it's C1. So what you want to do now is go into your drum module's MIDI bank and assign each trigger to each note for each drum. And remember, if you have dual sensor triggers, you can assign different sounds to the head and the rim of the drum. Once you can hear the EZdrummer sounds, you can then play around and make your adjustments for sensitivity, etc. You could do this just on your module before plugging into EZdrummer, but some drum samples are much more responsive than others, so I like to adjust for sensitivity after I pick my sounds. And since what we're essentially doing here is turning our drum set into a MIDI controller, you know there's going to be some fun with this. So just for fun, I'm going to insert another MIDI track and just make it a piano. Now I'll go back into my drum module and assign my triggers to only play the black keys on a piano. So this would be C sharp, D sharp, F sharp, etc. Let's see what we can come up with. Now, before I abruptly end this video, I'm going to give you a little extra tip here. One problem you may run into is that your drums will ring too much and you'll get what's called double triggering. You hit the drum once, but the trigger will go off many times. This is a well-known issue with bass drum triggers, and a lot of drummers compensate for this by stuffing the drum with pillows or blankets. This greatly dampens the vibration of the drum and allows the trigger to fire correctly. But you can't just stuff your whole drum set with pillows and blankets, right? That would completely kill the tone of the drums and it would make them very heavy to carry around. So my advice is to use Moon Gel. Moon Gel is a jelly-like product that dampens the sound of your drums. You just stick it on your drum head and that's it. Instant dampening, less ring. And bigger drums like the floor tom will obviously ring a lot more, so you're gonna need more Moon Gel on those larger drums. Apply as much as you need to get the desired triggering results. And yes, Moon Gel is a bit pricey if you're buying a lot of them, considering you only get fucking 4 little small pieces in a pack, but you can also go to the dollar store and buy the window gel clings, because they do the exact same shit. So that's the gist of it, everyone. I hope you learned something today. And if you didn't, go fuck yourself. Good night, America!